Hello and welcome to the 2016 CRC World Championship. Round 2 of the championship sees the teams head to the Bahrain International Circuit, held under nighttime conditions. With it being built in the middle of the Bahrain desert, this circuit is a challenging one for the drivers, with plenty of overtaking opportunities, such as Turn 1, Turn 4, Turn 8 and Turn 14, with the braking zone at Turn 10. I'd like to put the car's brakes to the test. Qualifying saw Alex Moores take his first pole position of the season, after mistakes on reigning champion Wesley's Q3 lap forced him to settle for second. Dork showed good pace in both qualifying curve and race trim during the practice sessions. Chantal proved that pace was genuine by setting the third fastest time ahead of Toby Jones in fourth. Kieran Honey was surprised with Q3 as he was able to put his Gindana in fifth on the grid, ahead of Rosie O'Driscoll in sixth. Jack Bourne was satisfied with seventh, making it a good qualifying for Gindana ahead of Dan Millen in eighth. A problem at the end of Hannah Duran's lap left her down in 9th on the grid, whilst Will Buckers rounds out the top 10. Lucy Woodward qualified 11th ahead of Lucas Quintanilla, who was pleased to qualify in 12th. Matt Coombs originally qualified 8th, but a 5-day grid penalty dropped him to 13th. The two team modified MAT cars to start behind, with Abby Leggett pleased to outqualify her more experienced teammate Matthew Tewson to qualify in 14th. Maxim Garner qualified in 16th ahead of Dan Phillips, who completed a reasonable qualifying for DMA. It was another tough session for RTS, as Louise Morrow could only manage 19th, whilst Phoebe O'Connor again had a lap that would have got it into Q2 ruined through no fault of her own, leaving her down in a lowly 24. To the race start, and Shanta Hawk got a fantastic launch and immediately got the jump on Esley. Going into turn 1, Hawk tried to pass Moores, but both ran wide, allowing both Esley and Jones through, whilst Moores ran wheel to wheel with Hawk, whilst O'Driscoll got around Hardy. On the run down to turn 4, Moores cut to the inside, which ensured he held third. There was trouble at the back though, as Bex Howie took too much curb, got onto two wheels, and was collected by the HWR of Louis Hyde, sending the Speedtech driver into a spin. Going into turn 6, Hardy was able to repass O'Driscoll to retake his 5th place, but at turn 8, O'Driscoll used that momentum to book a bold overtake on the Gindana driver. End of lap 1 in the order rounds: Esley, Jones, Moores, Hawk, O'Driscoll, Hardy, Buchan and Duran. With Esley pulling away, Alex Moores knew he needed to clear the Coonsby of Toby Jones as soon as possible. On lap 4, he was able to make a simple pass on the Coonsby driver's stick at turn 1. Duran was the driver on the move at this point of the race on the soft tyres, as she wasted no time making light work of both Gindana drivers. She then attempted to pass the Coonsby of Rosie O'Driscoll, but in doing so took too much curb and spun, dropping her to 10th. Duran, however, wasted no time regaining those positions, and eventually worked her way back onto the tail of the Coonsby driver, for this time making a pass stick. Just behind, Dan Milner's race would take a hit, as a spin on an attempt to pass Jack Goodwin dropped him to 11th. Meanwhile, in the midfield there was battling, as the two soft tyre shod Team Moffat by MAT cars were in combat. Matthew Tewson attempted to find a way past Lucas Quintanilla, however it didn't work out, allowing his teammate Abby Leggett through into 14th. However, on an attempt to pass the DMAT, she used too much curb and spun, dropping her to 19th. Leggett, however, wasted no time trying to win those positions back, with bold overtakes on first Kerry-Ann Peace and then David Bland. However, when trying to pass Dan Phillips, the DMAT suddenly moved under braking, forcing Leggett over the curb and into another spin, and dropping her to 20th. Back at the front, and Will Esley was leading and was pulling away ahead of his teammate Alex Moore. Toby Jones running in third and hanging on to the back of the Inataroka. Just behind Jones was the soft tyre shod Chantal Hawk, who knew if she wanted to make the strategy work, she would have to clear the two cars in front who were holding her up. She eventually managed to pass the Coonsby with a bold overtake at turn 4. She then latched onto the back of Alex Moore. It took a few laps. Eventually, she managed to clear the Inataroka driver. On lap 16, the Dork Racing driver pitted, but the stop didn't go to plan, as she was held in the pit for longer than ideal, which put her behind the battling Baronassos and Master Forces. The Dork Racing driver would lose even more time when she caught up to Lucy Woodward, as going into the final corner, she tapped the Baronasso driver, sending her into a spin, which held up Hawk. Woodward had come off worse though, as she hit the barrier when rejoining, ending a promising drive for the Baronasso driver. The amount of time Hawk had lost became clear when her teammate Hannah Duran pitted and rejoined ahead of her teammate. Hawk did immediately repass her teammate at turn 3. However, a few laps later, Duran was able to make light work of her teammate with a hard-fought pass at turn 6. On lap 21, race leader Will SC pitted for his first scheduled stop, but he would have a minor scare when he was held in the pit lane for longer than planned. The scare would be lifted for him when a lap later, both Alex Moores and Toby Jones also had troubled pit stops as well, allowing SC to rejoin in the lead. Meanwhile, things were not going well for HWR driver Louis Hyde as he used too much of the curb at turn 6, sending him into a spectacular roll across the sand, with the car ending up over the barrier, forcing him out of the race. For the next few laps, the attention swung to the two soft tyre shod Dork racing cars of Hannah Duran and Chantal Hawk as to when they were going to pit. Chantal Hawk made her move on lap 33 when she pitted in for the second time. The undercut had worked for Hawk as she ended up quite a way ahead of her teammate Duran, and many believed that despite everything that had happened to her, she could still get a podium until sadly, on lap 38, her brakes gave way in spectacular fashion, forcing her out of the race and robbing her of a potential podium. Despite that, Dork still had hope for a podium finish with Duran. However, that hope would diminish when heavy contact with back marker Dan Phillips damaged her car, extending her pit stop, costing her any chance of a podium. For the top three, their pit stops were trouble-free. However, Toby Jones lost time in the back markers, allowing his teammate Rosio Driscoll to close and eventually make a bold pass stick at turn 4. That would be short-lived, however, as 2 laps later, Jones was able to repass her at turn 1. As the race went on, the Sakhir International Circuit continued to catch out victims. Lucas Quintanilla was having an average race when his engine gave up the ghost, forcing him out of the race. A difficult evening for Abby Leggett came to an end when her brakes failed, forcing her out of the race, and James Lane's race would come to an end when his engine failed, forcing him out of the race as well. In the closing laps, the main interest was surrounding the battle for 6th, as slow stops for both Guindanas put them behind the Masterforce of Matt Coons, with Goldwyn ahead of Harding. Both cars eventually managed to catch up to the Masterforce, who was struggling for race pace, for first Goldwyn and then Hardy managed to pass the Masterforce at turn 1. To add further insult to injury for Coons, his teammate Dan Miller would also find a way past the 2-time champion. Meanwhile, back at the front and completing another dominating performance, Will SC once again crushed the opposition to take career win number 20 and his 7th win in a row. Alex Moores could do nothing to stop his teammate, but was pleased to finish second after missing out on that position last time out. And rounding out the podium, Toby Jones pulled off a good performance to take his first podium of the season with a strong drive to third. Rosie O'Driscoll pulled off a good performance to finish in 4th in only her second CRC race. Hannah Duran brought her car home in 5th, but Dork felt it was a missed opportunity for a podium for both cars. Jack Bourne pulled off a great drive to finish just ahead of his teammate Kieran Hardy in 6th. Masterforce just had no race pace whatsoever, as Dan Miller only managed 8th with Matt Coombs in 9th, whilst Will Buchan rounds out the top 10. Max Gala was disappointed to just miss out on points in 11th, ahead of Dan Phillips in 12th. Matthew Tewson's soft tyres actually did not work, as he only finished in 13th. Kerry-Ann Peace pulled off a good drive to finish in 14th, again showing Lockie a much better pace than the previous few years, just ahead of Louise Morrow in 15th place. In the driver's standings, Will SC now has a lead of 20 points, just 2 races into the season. Behind, however, there is a 3-way tie for second, as Rosie O'Driscoll, Alex Moores and Toby Jones are on 30 points. Hannah Duran currently lies in 5th ahead of Dan Miller in 6th. Chantal Hawk's brake failure has dropped her into 7th in the standings. Both Guindanas have got off the mark today and currently lie in 8th and 9th respectively, whilst Lucy Woodward rounds out the top 10. In the constructor standings, United Road have a 20-point lead over their nearest rivals Coonsby. Dork lie quite a way behind Coonsby and 3rd on 26 points, 10 points ahead of Masterforce in 4th. Guindana Motorsports have finally gotten off the mark with a double points finish, putting them in 5th in the standings, whilst there are still many teams who are yet to leave the starting block. The next race will be the Chinese Grand Prix, and you can watch that race live as it happens. Just simply head to this YouTube channel on the 17th of April and follow the links to the live broadcast. The time for the race, proceeding sessions and support race streams will be confirmed on the CRC site at crcracing1.wix.com/official and the CRC Twitter at twitter.com/crcracing1 on the Wednesday before the race. Also, don't forget you can rate today's race and vote for Driver of the Day via the link in the description, and you can subscribe to this channel for more CRC streams and highlights videos. as well as the CRC site and Twitter for news and league information. We hope you enjoyed today's highlights. We'll see you next time for round 3 of the 2016 CRC World Championship.